it hot, bait it. We're gonna bait it with bacon.
Yep.
We could do that. You can do that now if you want. A lot of guys will use molasses and gum wrappers, like a Wrigley's gum wrapper, and they'll wrap it around. I would probably go with this one, but let me turn it off.
I can smell it. Bacon will work for me. One thing that the division has said is that, and it doesn't happen a lot, but for them, you know, when it does happen once, you never forget it. So they've seen crows steal the bacon.
And they're not brown.
And they're not brown, so it doesn't bother them. You know, so you can just go around. Don't just like hang it there, but just to wrap it around a little bit like that. And you know, if you're a bear, if you're
my belly in the way.
I mean, I don't know what bears think, but in most cases, that's going to be pretty enticing, just for curiosity's sake, for them to come in and get a little taste of that. So we'll wait. I know that they've said in the past that you want to do all the sides.
Yeah.
And if there's a part of the fence, excuse me, of a wood line where you see that they're coming in, that's a good place, you know, to.
You have to run it and bait it once a year.
You know, if you're with the division, they would probably say yeah. But particularly in the spring and in the fall. In the spring, they're coming out of denning. They've lost a lot of their fat, and they're on the move looking for something to eat. So the spring, especially because of they're really hungry. And in the fall, they're in a state of hyperphagia. They consume what would be the equivalent of you and I eating like 35 hamburgers a day. Like they just constantly have to eat so much fat. So they're going to, Beehive will be very attractive. I'll tell you what happened. The snow we had, Kelsey said that he got a call from somebody this year whose hives, because of the snow, they got hit because the snow got really deep and they just didn't maintain it. And so some people, I think it was in Branchville, they came over and it just, the fence wasn't on per se because of the snow. And so, yeah, if you're with the division, like they don't want to deal.
Short off the fence?
I got an answer to that.
Okay, go ahead. So you shovel around?
Well, that's a pain in the butt. But what you would do, and a lot of livestock and horses, and it'll work for beehives, and I do a lot of deer fencing, and what you'll do is we got a product called it's a cutoff switch. And what you do is you would cut off the power to the bottom 2 wires and leave the top 3 still hot. That way you're still hot up here, but the bottom wires that are in your snow that are grounding you out, you would disconnect the power.
And they cut off automatically, you have to come out and cut them off?
Well, you got a little switch, you can switch it on and off. And it's just a little green thing, you can switch it on and switch it off. And that's what I would recommend.
I keep it all year round on if I could.
Yeah, and then what else you would do is if you do have a high snow area, like not right here, but I cover the East Coast.
I don't know.
That's winter.
Yeah. You guys don't even know what snow is. But anyway, maybe you could buy a higher post, and then as the winter comes on.
I gotta wash my hands now.
Oh, I don't have the charger on. You want the charger on?
Hold on, let me see if I can do it. Maybe you can get into that. Touch your head.
9.4. You can grab it if you want. And it won't hurt you. The one thing I'll tell you, this will not hurt your kids. It won't hurt.
That's not my question.
Yeah, it's a pulse. And that's why you guys are all my age or thereabouts. You guys remember the Roadrunner getting zapped? It's not like that. It's a pulse, and that's what allows the animal and or you to touch the fence and then pull away from it. If it was a constant electrocution like the Roadrunner got, you'd be like this. And the only way that can happen is if the animal got tangled up into it and couldn't pull away. This temporary fence, the animal gets tangled up in it, he's going to tear it down. But like in instances in cows, barbed wire and stuff, it's illegal to electrify barbed wire for that reason. The animal gets caught, he's tearing up his skin, he somehow got it twisted around him, theoretically he could die from that. So it's a pulse, it's safe for your kids. kids come out and touch it, they're not going to do it again for a while. It'll leave you warm and fuzzy for a while, but it's not going to actually hurt you.
Okay, good.
And it's a learned response by the animal. That's why you want it hot right from the start. We want this bear, if he's right there right now, we want him to come out tonight. We want him right now. And we want him to get a good taste. Who wants to know how much it costs? You guys want to talk pricing? Many different ways to do the fence. I really don't care if you use I don't care if you use steel wire. I don't care if you use aluminum wire. I don't care if you use turbo wire, turbo tape. You can use any product you want. The most important thing is to put up your system right. You got to have your charger, and as a solar charger, you'd want to face it to the south for a couple days. I wouldn't recommend. Personally, I would recommend a charger, a B11 or a battery charger, or I would recommend a plug-in if it's possible. But anybody able to plug in their charger for their beehives? You are? Plug-in's the way to go. Say everybody else is out in this situation here away from your house. What I will tell you is a solar charger will do the job, but it is actually set up for livestock, so it slows its pulse at night. I don't think that the bear density here is super. It's pretty hot. There's 9,300 volts on its fence right now. Nobody's going to touch it and come back for more. But we do sell chargers that are set up more, that stay hotter at night, and they stay hot the whole time around. Like this charger here is set up to be hot during the day, and then it settles down in the evening, because animals like cows and horses generally rest. Wildlife like bears, coyotes, cougars are night feeders. So you want it hot at night. A small area like this, there's a lot of margin for error. You're not fencing in the county here. You're just fencing in whatever this is, small area.
So that has a battery in it?
Yeah, that has a self-contained 6-volt battery. We make them with 12-volt self-contained batteries. We also make a battery charger where you would hook to a deep cycle marine battery. We actually have them that sit on a solar panel, and there's a case with a deep cycle marine battery case. B100 solar, very popular, probably the #1 pick if money wasn't an object. If anybody here's got money to burn, they're about $360, but they're the Cadillac of Beehive chargers, basically. Well, that one, this one, it's got a 2-year warranty. They probably go 5 to 10 years. I mean, it depends how. There's a lot of factors involved. How long did it sit in the warehouse before you even sold it to the store? How long did it sit on the store shelf? I mean, you buy it, and the day you buy it, it's got a 2-year warranty. That battery could be 3 or 4 years old by then. So there's a little bit of fringe there. But generally speaking, you face the solar charger to the south. You disconnect it. You let it charge up for 2 or 3 days, good, before you hook it up, and that way it'll really charge your battery good.
How many hours a day of sunlight does it need to maintain?
Doesn't need any. Technically, it'll work. If it needs some sunlight, will it work better in South Beach, Florida than it will in Miami or northern Vermont? It will. But just like when you get sunburned, like I get sunburned easily, obviously. But if you get sunburned on a cloudy day, like when you go to the beach and the sun's not out and you come back with a burn, it's the same thing. There's always so much ultraviolet rays in the air. So it can go 2 weeks with no sun whatsoever. You could take it up to Alaska and let it go, and you can put it in total darkness for 2 weeks and it'll still work. A lot of people will make the mistake of putting it in their barn for the winter, not really paying attention to what they're doing, coming in the spring and get zapped. So it's a misnomer that solars don't work. The reason why solar chargers don't work, it's not the problem with the unit, it's user error. The power in the solar unit isn't as great as it is with a plug-in, so the margin of error is smaller. You got to face it to the sun. You got to have a good ground rod system. You got to have that ground rod down into some moist soil. There's no margin of error. Your plug-in charger, sir, you could screw that up and do it half wrong, but there's power to burn, and that's why there's value in the plug-in unit. You get more bang for your buck if you can plug it in.
What I did was I plugged it into a GFI box on the floor, so I ran 140 feet underground.
Yeah, and you can do that. You can run, I got some products in the car, an underground cable, which is a double insulated 12.5 gauge wire, which is your standard farm fence that you guys would see. And you could run power from this. You can go up to 330 feet. So you could technically use a plug-in charger at that tree dig yourself a trench with underground cable and pull your power out to your hives if you like. What were you going to ask me?
Marine battery.
Depending on what charger you pick, a deep cycle marine battery like you buy at Walmart would be fine. The one thing I would tell you is our battery units, the straight battery unit works better off a deep cycle marine battery. The B100 solar, the Cadillac of Beehive, actually works better off a car battery because a car battery has the power real quick, so you want to start it real quick. So all the power's in the top part of the battery, and the solar panel sits right on the top part of the battery. So depending on what unit you are, but a deep cycle battery at the end of the day will get it done.
Okay.
And that battery unit, you probably have to charge it every 6 weeks or so.
Car battery, charge it every.
Yeah, depending on what unit you buy. I mean, the rule of thumb is a deep cycle marine battery, get it done. There's some instances where a car battery would actually be a little better, but that's splitting hairs.
How often do you have to charge it?
Car battery.
Just a regular battery charger overnight.
No, but how often?
6 weeks maybe?
6 weeks?
Yeah, about
Both
6
marine
weeks.
Check
and
the
cars.
voltage on it?
Yeah, it's about the same.
Car battery is 12 volt, they're both 12 volt systems.
Yeah, it's about the
Voltage
same.
drops to 11 volts if we charge.
Yeah, I don't know which one would actually last longer. Probably the deep cycle, I'm assuming. But what questions can I answer or try to answer?
How much bigger could the fence be?
A lot bigger.
A lot, right? Half this yard, possibly, with that thing? Or?
Acres. This charger is actually rated for 10 acres. It's the smallest solar we got. I could do a battery. The smallest I got the plug-in charger that I have would be a Wrangler. That's up to 30 acres, and ours are rated on a 3 to 4 strand fence. So this would do, 10. This would do. Well, this is actually 5 strands, but this would do 10 acres of a 4 strand fence.
You never did mention the total cost.
Oh yeah, I was getting to that. There's a lot of variables involved in that. Cathy, using a solar power charger. Solar power is a convenience item. $175 for a solar charger. If you could plug it in, you could get twice as much power for $85. Like, what do you got, a Wrangler?
No, I got your Gallagher's.
Yeah, is it a Wrangler?
Yes.
Yeah, the Wranglers are 1 joule unit. This is 0.17 of a joule. This isn't even a quarter joule. Costs $175. You could buy a 1 joule unit that you could plug in. If you plugged it in, you could get that for $85. That's why I'm saying there's a lot more value in a plug-in charger. But we got chargers that do 2,500 acres or 2,500. I mean, you can buy a charger as big as you need. But don't get caught up in it. I'll buy a bigger charger. I'll knock that bear on his butt. It's not about the size of the charger. The only thing a bigger charger will do for you, Kevin, is it'll do a bigger area. And there's a little more power in the bigger one.
If that'll do acres, that's fine.
What's that?
If that'll do acres, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, this is a solar charger to do acres. We actually have a B11, which I sell. I do a lot of work with the blueberry farmers up in Maine. And what they do is the bees, actually, you probably know more than me, but the bees travel up the coast as they pollinate the flowers, Georgia, South Carolina, and they move it on up. And this is big business. This isn't hobby farming Beehive, and this is serious stuff where your paycheck revolves around it. I don't know, is anybody in that situation? You guys are all playing bees, right? All having some fun? Trying to. But essentially, we'll use a little B11, and it'll actually work off 6 D-cell batteries. And you're going to burn through them every 6 weeks or so, but that's easy to move around, and it'll actually clip to the fence. And that would be considered a battery charger. So you got, let's just go over this, what we got into this. We got 175 into the charger. You can do the math, Kevin.
Yep.
$8 into each post, so that's 32. Gate handles, couple bucks. Call it 10 bucks. A roll of turbo wire. $43. Turbo tape, I can't remember exactly, but it's like $49. A digital voltmeter to check your fence voltage, which is the only way you can really tell if your fence is working, would be about $50.
$20 Northern.
What's that?
Northern catalog, $20.
What's that?
It's online. You go northern.com. It's just part.
Northern Tool.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, what I will tell you is,
I got 5.
do they work?
Yeah, just to check a battery voltage.
Oh, okay, yeah. What I will tell you is there's a big difference between, everybody thinks they can use their little where's that guy that was talking to me about? Yeah, you can use, this is designed to check voltage. There's those little things that you use, like he was saying, those little ones that have the readout that cost you $20.